Hi, and thank you for visiting my channel. For more information, kindly subscribe and follow. Now let's get started.
Rhea Ripley and Buddy Matthews are among the most popular couples in the pro wrestling industry, even though the two aren't in the same promotion. Recently, Ripley teased Matthews' nickname when a host asked her a question. Rhea Ripley is also known as Mommy, a moniker that gained popularity when she was in the Judgment Day alongside Dominic Mysterio. While the Eradicator isn't associated with the villainous faction anymore, she's still called Mommy by fans across the world. In an interview with 92.9 Triple M Perth while promoting WWE Crown Jewel 2025, the host, Daniel Leach, asked Rhea Ripley if he could be called Daddy. Mommy said it was a big shoe to fill, and it might not happen, as she indicated that Buddy Matthews already had that nickname. "Oh, that's a big shoe to fill? I don't know. I feel like someone named Buddy Matthews might already have that name," Ripley said. From 0:45 to 0:54. Buddy Matthews reveals Rhea Ripley initially hated him, explains what happened. Buddy Matthews and Rhea Ripley knew each other for years before they began dating and eventually tied the knot. However, the journey wasn't easy for Matthews, as Ripley initially hated him when they were coming up in the industry. In an interview on Insight with Chris Van Vliet, the former WWE Cruiserweight champion explained that a heelish segment in Australia was probably what scarred Mommy when she was in the crowd watching his work. "She, Ripley, used to watch me when I wrestled in Australia," said Matthews. "Yeah, she was in the crowd, and she hated me. And she still, to this day. There was this girl, her name was Sway, and I was a heel back then, so one of the angles was she did something, and I just rifled this forearm off on her and dropped her. She thought, she's probably scarred by this, but she remembers it. She hated me," Matthews said. It was just another casual Instagram live session for WWE Women's World Champion Rhea Ripley, who has become known as much for her dominant presence in the ring as her candid and chaotic energy outside of it. But this time, fans weren't ready for the curveball she delivered in the middle of answering questions, sipping on her favorite energy drink, and joking about Judgment Day backstage drama. Okay, Rhea said with a smirk, her signature black lipstick curling into a grin. "You guys keep asking what I call Buddy at home. And fine. I'll spill." A dramatic pause. "His new nickname is Buff Pup." The chat exploded with laughing emojis, exclamation points, and stunned reactions. Rhea burst into laughter, tilting her head back. "You heard me right. Buff Pup. Because he's like this massive, jacked golden retriever. Looks scary. Acts like a menace in the gym. But he's the softest, most loyal guy I've ever met." Fans instantly started tweeting clips and screenshots. Buff Pup was trending within the hour. From House of Black to House of Laughter. Buddy Matthews, known for his intense demeanor and near-robotic precision and who is part of the House of Black, is a far cry from the warm and fuzzy image his nickname conjures up. But Rhea insisted the nickname wasn't just a random joke, it came from a specific moment at home. "So, we were watching this nature documentary, right?" she explained. "And there's this part about these rescue dogs. And I look over and Buddy is just emotionally invested. Like, he's sitting there, muscles bulging out of his hoodie, and he's got actual tears in his eyes because this golden retriever got reunited with his owner." She chuckled again, shaking her head fondly. "That's when I said it. I was like, you were such a buff pup. And it stuck. He didn't even fight it. Now I call him that when I want him to smile. Or when he's being too serious about leg day." Buddy's reaction? He secretly loves it. Not long after Rhea's stream went viral, Buddy Matthews responded on X, formerly Twitter, quote-tweeting a fan who posted a drawing of him with giant puppy ears and flexed biceps. "She did not just make this my brand," he wrote, adding a laughing emoji and a heart. "But yeah. It's kinda true." During an media scrum the following week, Buddy was asked if the nickname had changed how he carried himself backstage. With a small smirk, he replied, "Well, Malachi and Brody have already made it worse. They started barking every time I enter a room. I've got people calling me BP like I'm some kind of protein drink." But then he added more seriously, "It's weirdly endearing. It's her way of showing love. And if that means being the buff pup, I'll wear it with pride." Wrestling World reacts. The reactions came quickly. Liv Morgan posted a meme of a buff cartoon dog crying while holding flowers. Dominic Mysterio, Rhea's on-screen partner, joked during a backstage Raw segment, "You're out here calling him buff pup while I'm being left on scene for 2 hours?" Damian Priest said during an interview that Buff Pup might actually make a solid tag team name if Buddy ever jumped to WWE. Even Triple H chimed in during a WWE digital exclusive. "We've had the big dog. Now we've got the Buff Pup. I don't know what's next, maybe a muscle cat?" Fans began bringing homemade signs to Raw and SmackDown. "Buff Pup for life, my pup is stronger than your champ, and Rhea's puppy pack leader." WWE Shop even teased a limited edition Buff Pup t-shirt, featuring a cartoonish Buddy with heart-shaped sunglasses and a leash held by a chibi-style Rhea. A power couple built on strength and softness. While the nickname might seem silly on the surface, fans have long admired Rhea and Buddy's unique dynamic. Their relationship is one of balance, her chaotic confidence paired with his reserved, stoic support. Even in separate promotions, they lift each other up from afar. Rhea has previously shared how Buddy grounds her when the wrestling schedule gets overwhelming. "He's the one who reminds me to rest. He knows when I'm running on fumes. And I'm the one who reminds him to smile and not always take life so seriously." Their rare but cherished social media moments, post-workout selfies, Halloween costumes, and subtle shout-outs, have become iconic among their fan bases. Buff Pup has simply added a new layer to their lore, the fierce champion and her gym-obsessed, secretly soft partner. Rhea teases the next nickname? Of course, Rhea wasn't done teasing. "I've got other names too," she said near the end of her live stream. "But Buff Pup's the one that stuck. Wait until I tell you what he calls me at home. That one might just break the internet." The chat begged her to reveal it, but she just winked and signed off, leaving the fandom in speculation mode. Queen Beast? No. It has to be Nightmare Noodle. Muscle Witch. That's gotta be it. In a wrestling world full of kayfabe, Buff Pup is 100% real. What started as a cute moment between two wrestlers turned into a viral movement. In a world of scripted rivalries and dramatic betrayals, fans relished the realness of Rhea's revelation. It humanized two of the most intimidating figures in wrestling and reminded everyone that even the toughest fighters have a soft side. And maybe that's what made the nickname stick. Because in the world of power bombs and promos, there's something refreshing about a champion calling her man Buff Pup with all the love in the world, and him loving it right back. Would you want to see Buddy Matthews show up on Raw with a Buff Pup jacket someday? Because fans are already campaigning for it. In a shocking yet heartfelt revelation during a candid podcast interview, his star Buddy Matthews peeled back the curtain on his real-life relationship with WWE superstar and Women's World Champion Rhea Ripley. While the wrestling world has often admired their chemistry and seemingly perfect pairing, Matthews dropped a surprising bombshell: "Rhea Ripley initially hated me." The statement was met with stunned silence from the podcast host, who quickly followed up with the obvious question, "Why?" Matthews chuckled before diving into a story that offered fans a rare glimpse into their rocky beginnings and the slow burn journey that turned animosity into love. A clash of first impressions. "It was at the Performance Center," Buddy began. "We were just two Aussies trying to make it in WWE, but we were on completely different paths. She was this fierce, driven woman, laser-focused. I was already doing 205 Live and kinda floating in the system. I thought we'd bond over being from the same country, but she looked at me like I was some big-headed jerk." According to Matthews, their first few interactions were tense. "I'd crack a joke, she'd roll her eyes. I'd try to offer help on a drill or critique a match, and she'd shut it down. I honestly thought she just didn't like people in general, but later I realized, it was just me she didn't like." Misunderstood intentions. The tension, Buddy explained, stemmed from miscommunication and contrasting personalities. Rhea's intense. She walks into a room and commands it. She was very protective of her space, her identity, and her goals. And here I come, probably too casual, acting like the locker room comedian with unsolicited advice. I didn't realize how it came off. She thought I was being condescending." He continued, "There was one day, this was early on, where she straight up told me, 'I don't need you to teach me how to wrestle, mate.' That hit me hard. I backed off after that." For months, the two barely spoke outside of required drills and tapings. Matthews focused on his own career, bouncing between brands, while Ripley rose through the ranks of NXT, capturing the Women's Championship and earning a loyal fanbase. A surprising turn. Everything began to shift in early 2020. Buddy recalled a shared overseas tour, an awkward travel assignment that saw them seated side by side for a long-haul flight. "I was dreading it, to be honest," he admitted. "I thought, she's gonna be miserable the whole flight. But something changed. We started talking. About home, About growing up in Australia, missing our families. For the first time, we weren't two co-workers, we were just two Aussies halfway across the world who understood each other. That conversation cracked open a door that had long been sealed shut. What followed were small moments, inside jokes, mutual respect after strong matches, and long chats about wrestling psychology. She started to realize I wasn't trying to coach her, I genuinely admired her. And I realized she wasn't cold or unkind, she was just guarded, and rightfully so. From enemies to lovers. The real turning point, Matthews revealed, came during the pandemic when WWE's touring schedule was halted, and wrestlers were working in empty arenas. That period was so isolating, Buddy said. We all leaned on whoever was around, and for Rhea and me, that was each other. We started texting, then training together on off days, then it turned into dinner. I think the moment I realized we'd flipped from tension to something more was when I made her laugh during a workout. She just stopped mid-rep and said, "You are not so bad after all." Over time, their bond deepened. Despite working in separate companies now, Rhea dominating WWE Raw as part of the Judgment Day and Buddy thriving in his House of Black, the two have managed to support each other through thick and thin. "She's my person," Buddy said with a rare softness in his tone. "We've both evolved so much since those early days. I think that initial friction is what makes us stronger now. We challenge each other, keep each other grounded." Rhea's side of the story. Though she wasn't part of the podcast, Ripley had previously hinted at their rocky start in a 2024 WWE digital exclusive. "Yeah, I didn't like Buddy at first," she'd said, smirking. "He came off a bit cocky. But then I realized, he's just a bit of a dork in disguise. And once I got past the surface, I saw the heart." Fans have often praised the two for keeping their relationship private but honest, with occasional glimpses into their life together on social media. From grueling workouts to casual backyard barbecues, it's clear their connection has only grown. A love forged in fire. Reflecting on their journey, Buddy Matthews summed it up with poetic honesty, "Sometimes the people who annoy you most at first are the ones you end up needing the most." She didn't make it easy, but I'm glad she didn't. Because everything about our story feels earned. From dislike to friendship to love, it's been a ride. He paused and then laughed, "Though I still have to win her over every day. And honestly, I wouldn't want it any other way." For fans who admire both stars for their in-ring prowess and authenticity outside the squared circle, this revelation adds another layer to an already fascinating partnership. Proof that sometimes, hate isn't the end, it's just the beginning of something unexpected.